Hey friends, you're welcome back. I'm Mary Oluwadunsin Oyeleke of Let's Talk About It Matters of the Heart, where we talk about matters that can affect our hearts. Today we'll be dealing with something exciting. I'll be doing, should I call it a book review or lessons gleaned from the book? Highly Effective Marriage by Nancy Van Pelt. Let me call it a book review of this book. And I hope by the time we are through with it, you'll be able to glean one or two things that will make your marriage, your relationship highly effective and will bring sweetness and savour into it. This book was written by Nancy Van Pelt, as I've earlier stated. It has 25 chapters and 7 different parts. Today, because I want to go into it, I'm going to pick just one of the parts. The part I'm picking is titled, the first part, it says, Our Needs or His Needs, Decoding the Mystery. And that part has 3 different chapters. So the first chapter is Marriage, Playing for Keeps. The second chapter is Our Needs For. And the third chapter is His Needs For. Under Marriage, Playing for Keeps, the author subdivided it into 3 different subdivisions. The first one says the benefit of staying committed. The second one says commitment isn't enough. And the third one says high expectation. Under the benefit of staying committed, the author made us realize that surviving the crisis of marriage over the span of 20, 30, 40, 50 years takes commitment, because a time is coming in marriage when sex will not even be important again, when material possessions does not even matter again, when they don't count again, when all that counts in that relationship is how committed they are to each other. Then the author made a point. He said every relationship seems to have its own drought, its dry spells, when growth stops and boredom sets in. This can be a dangerous time for couples, especially if a member of the opposite sex comes on the scene during the drought and awakens romantic or sexual feelings. This is another time that commitment plays a strong role. Then the author went ahead to say that one of the reasons why your spouse or your partner can open up to you, tell you everything, the fears, the worries, what the partner has bottled in over the span of years, is because they know that you are committed to the relationship, because you love them notwithstanding. No matter what happens, you're going to see to it that you make the relationship work and not elope out or leave them alone or desert them. So that is one of the major points that the author actually made there. He said when both couples are 100% committed to each other, and their commitment has been tested and has been endured, uneasy fears of abandonment are actually done away with. Then the second part, the author said commitment isn't enough. Highly effective marriage are the result of more than just compatibility and commitment. Effective communication and conflict management skills are very vital. There will always be different of opinions over the likes, over the desires, how to get things done, setting up a home, the number of children they want to give birth to, and stuff like that. He said what will really help them is how well they can communicate, and they can agree to disagree or disagree to agree, whichever way. They also said no matter what, no matter how committed they are to each other, if they cannot communicate with each other, if they cannot bend rules for each other, it isn't going to last long. Yeah. Then another thing the author said in the first chapter is high expectations. They also believe that high expectation is one major thing that ruins relationship, and that when both couples come into a relationship, they have an expectation of this is what a perfect man should look like, or this is what my husband should look like, probably from movies, probably from friend stories, or whatever it is, and they have this expectation in their heart. When they get into marriage, the reality is actually different from the fantasy they find in there, and sometimes it makes most of them feel disappointed, dejected, delusion. All this delusion they set in because what they were expecting isn't what they made. When such situation happens, ability to compromise, to step down, to wave aside are the things that can help such relationship to go through that. It isn't just about the pictures in your head. When you see the reality, the ability to love the reality and yet still stay committed to whatever it is you find in there are one of the things that makes marriage thrive and do great. Then the author made one thing the last thing I would like to make from this chapter. I said there are some qualities that could help strong families, and some of the qualities are being committed to each other, spending time with each other, having a good communication, expressing appreciation to each other, spiritual commitment. Like, he believes that when they have a spiritual commitment, it really helps a couple. When they have a higher authority where the whole report to, it kind of have a way of binding them together, an ability to be able to solve problems in times of crisis. So we'll be going straight to the second chapter, and the second chapter says are needful. One beautiful thing about this chapter is that the author made us realize that one of the major issue in relationship and marriage is that either or both of the couples don't even understand what their own need is. Not to talk of understanding what their own partner's need is. And when you don't understand each other's need, it's going to lead to a whole lot of ups and downs. He said one of the major challenges again is that people give in a relationship what they want rather than what the partner desire. Okay, let me read this part. It says, actually, both partner gives to the relationship, but they usually give what they themselves want, not what their partner desire. As a result, both of them end up feeling frustrated and resentful. For example, a woman thinks she's acting loving when she asks caring questions or express concerns. This can be very annoying to a man. It may feel like she's trying to control or manipulate him in some way. This is confusing to her because if he offered her the same type of concern, she would appreciate it and feel loved. Her effort at showing she loves him irritates him. And on the other side, when a woman gets upset, a man often tries to ease the situation by telling her not to worry, and she gets upset over such things. He would have responded in such a manner where in which he understood it, and if he was told that, it would have felt calmer. But feeling like he got so confused that why is the woman getting upset? Yeah, such a things are one of the things that cause problems in relationship when we don't really understand what we really want. Another thing the author says is, after the stress of the day, a man could actually need peace and quietness in order to refocus, whereas a woman could need attention and intimate conversation in order to refocus. That tells us of our different needs. So if you go through this book, if you take time out to read this book, you will understand what a female need is, what a male need is, and so you will be able to understand how to meet your spouse needs, which will actually make your marriage much more effective. Let me just highlight some few points here. Her needs and his needs. A woman needs frequent demonstration of love and affection. A man needs admiration for appearance, ability, and character trait. A woman needs emotional security. A man needs approval and support. A woman needs appreciation for her domestic effort and attractiveness. A man needs respect. A woman needs romantic attention. A man needs sexual fulfillment. Yeah, one of the major things is she needs love and affection. I like a paragraph there. The author says, men, if your wife are lying on bed with her head resting on your shoulder and she asks, what are you thinking about? Please be thinking about her. And yeah, she talked about some delusions ladies have when they really want their husband to know what they are thinking at that particular time. They want them to understand their unspoken words. I think the author said one of the ways such can be tackled is by just showing her love and affection, even when you don't understand her. You don't really need to understand a lady. All you need to do is just love her. Then she actually talked to the women, so I made them realize that one of the ways you could help your man to love you better is to express yourself, be a bit verbal, tell him what you want and how you wanted it. Then he made you realize that women are not more of a sex type, they are more of a romance type. If you want her to give you sex, give her so much of a romance. And a romance involves attention, involves kiss for no reason, involves flaunting out before your friends or doing in the cloud. It involves appreciating what she has done, probably the meal, appreciating her little effort. All those things spell love to her in bold words. Then he gave some few words you can actually use for your wife that could actually get her on. Something like, every day is a better day for me because of you. The happiest day of my life is when I married you. I love you more today than on our wedding day. You make my life so complete. Something like, you mean more to me than I can ever tell to you. Yep, those are really great stuff in there. Then he said you should be able to tell your wife over and over that if you have an opportunity of getting married again, you will choose her. All those words goes a long way to build her emotional stability. And when you have a happy woman, she's going to give you every other thing you want to as a man. Then look going to his own needs. As much as a woman has emotional needs, a man has his own emotional needs too. And ability to meet the two needs in a relationship is what makes the marriage highly effective. One of the major things a man needs is what respects. He needs there is this, he said, the pastor's wife tells the woman, you only have to do one thing: appreciate him and let him know you do. A man needs admiration for his appearance, for his abilities, and for his character. Not just women that needs appreciation for their looks. Men need to know that they're doing good, and at that moment they need to know that they have somebody in their team they can depend on at every time, and which has to be their wife. You have to keep telling him that he can do it because you've seen him do it before and he can do it again. You have to be his booster, you have to be his encourager, you have to be his strengthener. And those are the little things. His work, you might not really understand what his work entails, but you have to give him a listening ear. No matter all the jargon saying from his word, just show him that you care. Act like you understand. I would like to use that word, act like you understand. Be patient with him, let him pour out his mind. When he knows that he has someone that can receive whatever it is he has to say, he's going to come and keep saying this to you, and it's going to make you his own confidant, which could in the long run build the relationship and make the marriage more effective. There are some few tips of the words you can use for your man too. Something like, honey, you're smart, the way you handled that business deal was brilliant. Something like, the shirt really looks good on you, thanks for cleaning up that mess, appreciate your willingness to drive me here. Something like that makes him know that it's actually important to you. Every man wants to be the hero and the leading man and the protector and the role model of his family. Make him know that he's actually that to you, and you appreciate every of his little effort. All these little things count, and they're going to help the relationship. What's like, I believe in you. What's like, you can count on me to be there for you. What's like, I love you eternally. They all go a long way. And when the author was talking about appreciating the looks, author talked about we being a bit detailed about it, like telling them what they appreciate, like, oh, I just like that muzzle, something like, oh, I just like those clothes on you, I like the curls, I like the way you pack the hair, I like the hairdo, stuff like that. When you are more detailed about it, it increases the point. And the author said one funny thing. He was talking about how to fill the emotional tank of a lady, like doing all those small stuff. He said, but one thing you have to understand is that at night the tank leaks out and everything gets dried again. So a man that is wise knows that he has to keep filling it on daily basis. That you told her you love her yesterday does not mean she can remember today again. Just keeping the fire burning. There's a whole lot in this book. From the first page, every line are full of story. I encourage somebody to be a reader. We are done, somebody's marriage is going to be better for it. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please like us on Facebook, Let's Talk About It Matters of the Heart, our page. Join our discussion group, Let's Talk About It Matters of the Heart. And you can subscribe to me on YouTube, Mary Oluwadunsi Oyeleke. Till we'll meet next time. Enjoy and stay blessed. Bye for now.